Alright guys, we are back for another Dokkan battle video. So we got, honestly a pretty big data download here. We got quite a few things that are sort of, added in here. Again, this seems like a pretty strong data download. Let's just go over everything. Carnival, LR, Omega. Looks like we're going to have a new most difficult stage in the game, which I think is actually pretty interesting. Let's just take a look at a bunch of this stuff, right? So again, we got the promo movie, Carnival, LR, Omega, Shenron. Remember that Omega, it's a Carnival banner, and it's going to be double rates as well. New Extreme Super Battle Road stage. We have a new stage added to the Birth of the Shadow Dragon event against Omega Shenron. Currently, stage 7 is the hardest fight in the game, so I would assume stage 8 is going to be even harder. We have the EZA GT edition. This is the GT Cell, Frieza, and Goku. I saw people like, oh, yippee, they're not sub-EZAs. It's like, they're sub-EZA level characters, right? Like, that's sort of what they are. It's the same thing as Saiyan Day, right? We had actual sub-EZAs, right? Like the God Goku and the Blue Gokus, but like they were the same level as the other EZA characters, like the Vegeta and Bulma and the Int God Goku and the Whis and stuff like that. Like, I mean, some of those characters were a little bit better, some were a little bit worse, but it's all essentially the same level, which is not even Dokkan Fest TUR level, not Dokkan Fest LR level, nothing like that, right? So we have those two EZAs, the GT edition, and then Super Baby 2. No matter what anyone tries to ever say, EZAs are content and it's good content. It's not doing the EZAs that I'm saying is content. It's the transformation of a character like this from a worthless character into a top tier character, a character you could run on all your teams, and a character who's good in many situations, right? Like this Great Ape Super Baby 2 is. So EZAs are content. If people want to say it's not, then they're fucking wrong. It's just that simple. All right, next, we have a burst mode as well. This is for the Omega Shenron Dokkan event, which is good. I believe, actually, they did tease this. I didn't see anyone actually talk about this. Did they say what the categories are? I'm going to pull this up in-game. Sometimes I think this doesn't come up super correctly. Let me just take a look at this in-game and see if... Yeah, because I'm pretty sure this is going to tell us what categories, but I'll go back in and check. We're also going to get a Patan battle as well, which is always, fun. Basically, Adventure System from Legends. It's pretty much the same thing. Okay, so we get the movie, and then we'll start with Carnival LR Omega Shenron. I got some bad news. Omega, dude, Listen, I feel like I'm pretty fair to these characters. And Omega, for all intents and purposes, is the type of character that I would like. Because Omega's strengths are defense. Defense is what this guy is best at. But the issue with Omega and his really good defense is it's super conditional, right? Omega is getting damage reduction per GT boss's character, which, listen, some of the GT boss's characters are, I could say they're okay-ish. It certainly helps when we have, Great Ape Baby and some of these other characters, yeah, for sure, but I feel like this guy doesn't get enough from the GT boss's allies. Like, in order for this to work, they could have made this work correctly, but Omega, it's like, okay, number one, Omega should be 3-key, 30%, 40%, or 50% to extreme class units support. It's just boom, no matter what. Which would help, because he's on several villain teams where he could make use out of that, right? He has a strong link set. That's number one. Then number two, like, GT bosses, just 1 key and a little bit of damage reduction is not enough. It should have been, like, 1 key, the damage reduction, and then 25% attack and defense per GT boss's unit or something like that. The problem here is that, Omega hits very... dude, this guy is hitting really weakly because he builds up attack, 20% attack with every attack performed. It's just ludicrous. Like, this guy is actually like, I don't know. I mean, it's this guy would have been really strong like a year ago or something like that. Like it's so hard to talk about this guy because like he's good on the GT Bosses team, but like that team, like you're slated for death. Like that team can't cut it. So it's like then we're just gonna use this heavily neutered version. He's on a couple of other 200% teams. I don't know. I think that this guy can be really good, but like I mean, he needs help, but you have to understand like the level of character that he needs added to his team to like really help him is, like if there was a LR Final Form Cooler GT Bosses type character, like we need something like that. Like he needs a real killer added to GT Bosses. Baby helps. I mean, certainly these two right here, the GT Cell and Frieza, I mean, it's additions, right? Like, Texan Shenron is there, but it's just this guy comes in like, just like a really bad spot. And I mean, I just look at this and it's like, Super 17, it just feels like he came in a bad spot. And Kale, I mean, didn't get enough help. And now Omega, and it's like, LR Superboot doesn't even have a team. Like, it's like Dokkan really is just kind of shooting out random, like, characters without any real cohesiveness to it, which is really bizarre when you think to Omatsu saying, like, yeah, dude, like, we know everything coming out until the 10th anniversary. Well, I mean, Omatsu, if that's true, how about we show and not just tell that? I mean, I don't know. It's possible, like, Worldwide can bring things together, right? Like, LR Janemba kind of was teamless for a while. He got his team. He was great on the cooler team. I think he's still very useful, right? Fusion Zamasu still has never gotten his team. Fusion Zamasu is not dead, by the way. I think Fusion Zamasu can be very effective if he would actually, get like a proper team for him. LR Golden Frieza is a character who came out last year, and like he didn't really have a great team, although like his design was way different in that he could be used in anywhere at the start of the fights. So I don't know. I mean, is Omega a top 10 LR? Probably not. I don't think that this guy's a top 10 LR. I don't think so. We'll see. I think his performance on GT Bosses is definitely top 10 level. I do think so. But, I mean, it's not like a winning team. Like, I mean, how do I say this? I don't give two shits that I could no item all these fights in the game. The point is that if you do 50 runs with GT Bosses, and then you do 50 runs with Earthbred Fighters, how many Earthbred Fighter wins do you get? 48? 49 out of 50? Something like that? You just have one, like, legendary, just terrible luck. One run, right? And GT Bosses would win, I don't know, 25 times? And, like, Red Zone Metal Cooler Core or something like that, right? I don't know. So, I mean, that's just the difference. That's the difference, I think, between a good team. What's going to go in there and win 10 out of 10 times, and what's going to struggle? This team is going to struggle. You get a slot 3 super attack at any point in any fight, you lose. Over. Right? Unless you have full dodge builds on everyone, it's done. So, we'll see. We'll see. I mean, good news, guys, it's an easy skip, but at the same time, I mean, again, it's a Carnival double rates banner, so it should be pretty easy to get them. We'll see. We'll see. Rapid Growth Extreme Super Battle Road. Okay. Could be a tough stage. We'll see. We'll see. We recently got the Sub EZA Gotenks. They actually could be pretty useful for this, I think. With their dodge and support and stuff like that. Like the EGL Gotenks, he could be solid there. That's good. So, we have a new stage added to this. Now, I mean, listen. What are the chances that this stage disappoints people? I guess it's possible. People were completely fooled by stage 7 against Sin Shenron. I mean, it wasn't until I started seriously going through it a bunch of times where it became agreed upon by everyone. Oh yeah, this is the hardest fight in the game, right? So, I mean, I would assume this is just going to be flat out tougher, but we'll see. We'll see. I assume this is going to be the new hardest fight in the game against Omega Shenron. But again, we will see. Now, on top of that, too, we also do have a couple of missions. So clear stage 8 against Omega. Uh, do a full power team and beat Omega. So that, of course, we'd want to use probably like LR Super Saiyan 4 Goku. And then finally, a final trump card team. I mean, that's easy. That's not going to be tough. A final trump card team, yeah, not going to really struggle too much doing that. I don't think that these missions look too tough, but I mean, this is good. This is good content right here. It's just give us more of this more often, please. Like this is good. This is good. So I do like that. We have the EZA, so it's all three of these characters are from the same EZA, the GT Cell, GT Frieza, and GT Kid Goku. I think the Goku is solid because Goku gives you 3 turns of guard at the start. That gives him a little bit of extra usability. Say EZA stages, Battlefield, Super Battle Road. Could be worse. I mean, he's not the greatest, but I just see people evaluate characters, and it's like, man, like, this is a sub-EZA level character, right? Like, this is not the type of character, like, people want this character to be like, I don't know, STR Krillin or something like that, Amon and Raisin, and it's like, that's just not realistic, right? Like, I mean, they did that with Tech God Goku. He had his own EZA, right? Like, I would say that, like, that God Goku and God Vegeta, those are, like, sub-EZA, like, level type characters. But, like, God Goku was just, he was what I would define as a killer, right? But, like, it's very rare. And he already had a great kit going into it. And he's an anniversary EZA as well. So, I feel like a lot of times you could almost put bonus points in that. I like this Goku. I think he's fine. I do. As a sub-EZA type character, he's fine. These two, I want to get in the lab and test them out a little bit more. They're mostly just raw stats. I mean, we'll see. A lot of these GT bosses characters have heavy debuffing abilities. That's the thing with Carnival LR Omega. I mean, he's massively debuffing right here. He's got a bunch of debuffs in his active skill. He's got a bunch of debuffs in his super attacks. Like, he's just debuffing everywhere, but it's one of those things where it's like, that doesn't help in the hardest fights in the game, right? So, is debuffing really that good? And then these guys right here, they're going to be weak to GT Hero, these 3. So that's going to be a pretty easy one to get done. So we have that EZA. Then we have Super Baby 2, weak to full power. Oof, I feel like that's very easy. Okay, remember Super Baby 2 is the superior LR EZA format, which means you just use LR characters, right? Legendary power characters to tear through, which is really good. All right, there's his medal. Burst mode, the Shadow Dragons of Despair. I really hope... I don't know if we know specifically what stage it's going to be. This can actually be super fun if it's STR Omega's stage. Okay, so remember, a way long time ago, Dokkan events were the tough content, right? Like, Dokkan event stages, that was the difficult content in the game. Where is the Omega event? And I also want to pull up Turles as well. Where is Turles? Let's see. They have it in the global order, right? So it should still be down here. I scrolled right. Yeah, there it is right there. Perfect. Okay. So the Turles burst mode, it actually was for stage 1, which is the more interesting fight, right? Where you have the 5 enemies, and then Turles kind of does like this Fruit of Tree of Might transformation, and then he heals, and then it's like, it's like a weird, like, it's not just like a typical fight. Like, eventually, Dokkan events kind of just turned into this every single time, where you just go through your 4 phases, and there's no gimmicks, there's no nothing. But Dokkan events used to have, like, they were all very different and weird, right? The first Omega stage would be like that. This one right here, where the first phase, we could pick one of these 4 fights to do. Then the second fight is against Ice and Nova at the same time, and then the last fight is against its Physical Sin, and then the second phase is against STR Omega. That I think that could be a very interesting burst mode right there, actually, right? Especially, like, you know, you could pick which one of the first Shadow Dragons to fight. I think that that's going to be pretty fun and pretty interesting. So I'm definitely looking forward to this. I'm going to assume that it's going to be STR Omega Shenron, like his stage, this one right here. I'm going to assume that's the one that's going to be getting the burst mode, like Turles, but we'll see. So that could be pretty fun. And then we have a Patan. Then there's a bunch of assets. I mean, this must be from the Omega Shenron stage, I'm going to assume. So this must be the order. So yeah, it is Carnival LR Omega is actually the fight right there. Interesting. Does make you wonder, like, why not just do this during the anniversary? I don't know. It does seem weird, right? Like, they easily could have, like, I mean, I guess Omega in the anniversary probably would have worked quite a bit better, right? For sure. Rather than the opening characters. The thing about the opening characters, like the Dragon Ball Kai Goku and the DBZ opening Kid Gohan, I would say it feels more right that they're like anniversary than just like a, you know, all right, here's the April LR, you know, here's the Tanabata Carnival in July. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong on that. It's weird. And Omega, I mean, they did this guy no favors. It's so sad. I mean, when I was growing up, this was the Big Daddy boss of Dragon Ball. It was this guy. Like, this was Mr. Big Dick when I was growing up. Now it's, you know, I guess, like, kids growing up these days, who is the Big Dick boss of Dragon Ball? Jiren? Broly? I mean, it's probably not Moro, right? Like, most people don't know who Moro, probably Broly or Jiren, right? Like that, like what looks like the strongest. I would almost think maybe, yeah, gotta be Broly or Jiren. Those have to be like the two, like, Dragon Ball villains. Like if there's a 10-year-old out there right now, like they probably love Broly, because Broly and Jiren are just these big, like, like, people can hate on Jiren all day long. If you were watching the Tournament Power week to week, Jiren was, like, incredible. Like, I will never back off. I'm such a Jiren defender, dude. I will never back off of that. Jiren, people nowadays pretend like Jiren sucks, and bullshit, dude. No one hated Jiren until the very end when he started talking. Everyone loved Jiren the whole Tournament of Power until the very end. So I don't want to hear that nonsense. So there we go. There was the JP data download. Let me know what you guys think of this silly boy Carnival Omega. He has great animations. He's got an intro. He has a revive. He has an active skill. I mean, he's definitely a Carnival LR in, like, the quality. Like, it's like Carnival LRs a lot of times, like, are kind of like Dokkan Fest LR quality. But, I mean, a lot of the Carnival LRs, we now can, you know, have a real dialogue here about how wonky some of these guys have been. Alright, so let's take a look at this. So these are the 6 Carnival LRs we've had up to this point. Tech Carnival Goku, fantastic. I would have said that he was the second best character in the game on release. Guarding, defensive stacking, revive character, awesome. He had similar issues that Omega does, where Omega also, I mean, I haven't talked about it yet in this video, but when he revives, only one of the Omegas can get the buffs. That was a bigger problem for Carnival Goku, because Omega doesn't have defense tied to his revive the same way that Carnival Goku did, I guess, which is a positive. Metal Cooler, I am probably the biggest LR Metal Cooler hater there is. I think he's a fun unit with the animation and stuff like that, but, I mean, he just does goddamn nothing besides his revive. He does nothing besides reviving. STR Carnival Goku, I want to get down with him so bad with the support. Eventually you can get a scouter and shit like that, but he's got damage reduction, which is good, but he's a slot 2 character that has to get hit, which is just so inconsistent. This guy's just great, hands down. W character. Carnival Kid Gohan is really strong, but I think his design sucks as well. He's similar to Cooler a little. I mean, he's got some similarities to Cooler a bit. Well, I mean, is that even really? The problem with Kid Gohan is that he builds up by getting hit when he's build up by getting attacked. Or he needs to build up by attacking. It's honestly, you could swap these. Omega is a character that could get hit, sure. And Kid Gohan is a character that should build up by attacking. That's, like, they need to swap them. But a lot of these Carnival LRs are wonky, man. Like these guys, you know, they're not just, oh, we're hitters. Man, we're killers. Like, it's, you know, we got some real weirdness. I'm glad that, you know, just got Omega, so now Goku is only half of the Carnival LRs, and Super Saiyan Goku's only 1/3 of them, so that's good. So, let me know what you guys think about the Carnival LRs and Carnival Omega Shenron. Again, Carnival LR Omega Shenron, he's not quite as good as we would hope. I want LR Omega should be the savior of villains. He should be Bulma on crack, right? You know, that's what he should be. He Omega should be the #1 unit in the game on release. He certainly, but Omatsu clearly had other designs. So let me know what you guys think about the JP data download. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll catch you guys next time.